Hey, this is Bruce Boudreau, and you're listening to Empty Betters with Nick, Mack, and Harrison.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to episode 176 of Empty Betters. I am your host, Harrison Scholes. I'm going to toss it across the screen to my co-host, Nick Manella. What's going on, my friend?
I am very, very sad because hockey season is at an end. Opened the app today kind of just by habit, looked for like what time the next game was, and I was like, oh shit, October. So it sucks. It just sucks.
One of those harsh realities that hit me last night in the third period where it's like, oh, I'm not going to see this again until October. And It's like, that's a long time away. So it is a sad reality, but I'm going to toss it across the screen to my other co-host up in Milwaukee, Mac Vogel. What's going on, my friend?
Yeah, retweet, big retweet there. I will say the saving grace, we still got the Hershey Bears going in the Calder Cup playoffs. So definitely plan to tune into the last couple of games of that. And then it's all in on the O's now, baby. Go O's, huh?
Yeah.
I am definitely down for that one. Gunnar Henderson looks incredible lately, so that's good news for us Baltimore Orioles fans. But I believe they're actually going to be in Jackson's neck of the woods here very shortly, if I'm not mistaken. Going to toss it across the screen to Mr. Jackson Gross over in Illinois. What's going on, my friend?
Not much. Kind of sad the hockey season's over as well. Between school and everything I had going on, I was able to tune into a whole bunch. So seeing a 9-3 game at the end of the season was not what I was hoping for. And I'm excited for next season to get rolling around. Should be interesting one across the entire league, but it's going to be hard for me because unlike you boys, I have the Cubs to root for, who are run by two morons. So, oh God, the less said about them, the better.
We know all about, well, at least owner who is moron. We'll see how that plays out over the next couple of seasons.
I think you're going to feel a little bit better come hockey season, Jay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The Connor Bedard era is going to make me feel so much better considering outside of the Bears, all Chicago sports are in the shit right now.
How fast are you ordering that jersey when it comes out?
Let's see. Depending on, I'll probably ask it for a Christmas gift because
there you go.
Student loan payments are coming, baby.
They are.
Now,
that's what AliExpress is for.
You get the standard red, or are you gonna get like a black one?
I don't think I get a black one. I'll see what like their new like reverse retros are gonna be for this upcoming year. Something like that.
They're done though, aren't they? Because it's Fanatics. So I think they said the program's over.
Yeah, well, there's no more reverse retros. I think this is the last season with Adidas. And then if you want, Jay, you could patiently wait and upgrade to a wonderful Fanatics jersey. I'm sure they'll be great quality.
Oh, I didn't realize that Fanatics didn't start this coming season. That's good.
I think it starts 24-25.
Okay. That's
okay.
Yeah, but I think Adidas is kind of done.
Reverse retro is dead. I think they said they might do like one or two alternates for people, but sucks.
Did you notice the gear on the ice last night for the Golden Knights? We'll talk about that in a second. That was Fanatics.
It was.
I noticed.
You could tell.
Yeah.
You know, like those like shitty, like, and not now because obviously it's changed a lot, but like, you guys remember when like you were kids and like you would go on the boardwalk in Ocean City and get like a really shitty screen printed like 80s airbrush trucker hat or like t-shirt
or like a Batman
exactly
or something
or like the old school, like my opinion, the peak of art, like the SpongeBob with like the bling rings and like he's got like a gun in his hand and
the peak of art.
Rick and Morty smoking a blonde or
exactly
something
like the Calvin and Hobbes where he's like peeing on something. It's like peeing on the Dallas Cowboys logo. It's like only saw that 1,000 times in high school. So
wow. And Vegas, it sounds like your team championship gear is really good according to Nick. So that's his thoughts on that. We're going to talk about the Stanley Cup. Obviously, Vegas just won Game 5. I think the final score was 9-3. I lost count. No one had that on their bingo card, so Bobrovsky almost putting up a double-digit performance is one for the ages, I'll say.
So did they leave him in the whole time? I cut away when it was
They
like,
did.
That's
They did.
I would never play for that franchise again if they did that to me.
I don't know though. I feel like in that game, I mean, we'll talk about it in a bit, but it's almost like it's so lose-lose if you're like Paul Maurice or like
True.
I don't know.
Yeah. You can't win.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I don't necessarily disagree with the choice to leave him in, but like I said, there's really no good choice when you're down like 6-1 or whatever the fuck it was.
Well, we will get to that momentarily, but before we do, just want to say a thank you for all the feedback from the RA episode. That was a great one. Greatly appreciate everybody sharing that. I know I had a bunch of people texting me. They were sending that to people. So all that support is greatly appreciated. And we are going to get to the question of the day here shortly. I'll toss it off to Mac for that, and then we'll talk Stanley Cup.
Word. Okay, last question of the day of the hockey season here. And I like this one. I just cooked this one up a few minutes ago. All right. Which of the following 3 professions would be the hardest to just like step into as the person that you are right now with no formal training and do for, I don't know if I want to say a week or a month. Let's go a month. Let's go one full month. And after we talk about these 3, y'all can feel free to suggest other ones that are maybe even harder that I didn't think of. But the 3 that came to mind, number 1, a police officer on duty in any major like metropolitan city. Again, no formal training. Like, so however well you know how to use like a weapon right now, that's it.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Number 2, a teacher in any like a 6th grade teacher in like any major metropolitan area, or the Pope.
Oh, God.
I could be a great Pope.
Okay. Hold on. I knew you guys were going to jump at that one because it doesn't involve guns or corralling
Or kids on
children.
TikTok. Yeah.
But in like, let's say in any given 1 month span as the Pope, you have to give like at least one like major like speech to like a giant crowd, and then also like, I don't know, a bunch of like formal like
Catholic
visits and
things
like
or something?
blessings
Okay.
or
Catholic
something.
things, yeah.
I don't really even know what the Pope does exactly, but that's
You know what he does? He stands up, he goes within the name of the center, the left wing, and the right wing. Amen. I
True.
bless this hockey team.
Yep,
There you go.
yep. And he wears
So-
the helmet, the
Right.
hockey helmet,
The big
He's got
Jofa
the
helmet.
Joe
Fishbowl. Yeah.
Yeah,
So we're answering which one would be the easiest or
the hardest. Well,
The
either
hardest.
one. I guess which one? Yeah, which one are you picking? Sure, we can start there. Like,
Which
what's
one
the
would I
easiest?
pick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bear in mind, for the Pope, you're also running the city-state of the Vatican City. So you're not only a
Fuck.
religious figure, you are
Yeah,
also
you're
a political leader.
Exactly. Yeah. I failed to mention that because once again, I don't.
We had to
really
have one
get what the
scholar on
Pope
here.
does.
Oh no, I literally just looked it up while you guys were
Oh.
talking. So
I feel
Okay.
like I would have a ton of fun like riding around in the back of that Pope mobile, because you know how it's just like a glass box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a win-win for me. Like
Okay.
no one can get in, sign me up. I would just do like fake like miming, like I can't get out, like just to make people laugh or something.
All right.
oh my god.
If you made me pick one, I think I'd pick teacher, honestly.
Really?
Yeah. I know.
Again, it's like, you know,
I
it's
know.
like a poor school, like a tough school that doesn't have a lot of funding, and like you don't have a lot of help from your other coworker. Like, it's kind of a shit show.
Middle schoolers are terrifying
Exactly.
too.
They
Yeah.
The
are.
worst.
Don't
They're
listen.
literally the
They
worst.
don't want to do what the fuck. And also, like, in this situation, you're like a new teacher. You're like the sub for the month or whatever. So you're getting no.
Oh my god.
All right. That would have been good to know up front.
In all these situations, you are new and everyone knows you're new. So like, you're the brand new Pope, which makes it harder because everyone's like, oh my God, there's a new Pope. We got to go see him.
Oh shit.
Well,
So
and
everyone's
there's-
excited about it.
Yeah.
And like
You
cop,
know-
you're like a rookie cop. So all the other fucking cops are probably like
All right,
on your ass and shit. Like,
I'll take teacher. I'll take teacher.
Yeah.
Not saying it's easy. By any means. I got a lot of love
Right.
for teachers. I have
Yeah.
family that's teachers, but I feel like I could handle kids better than criminals or interviews or political speeches. So I'm gonna go teacher.
All
I'm
right.
gonna, I'm gonna have to hop on that bandwagon. I know, especially my brother's just about to become a teacher. He's gonna be a rookie teacher. So I know how tough that is, but I don't want to be handling a gun for the first time in my life and have to be a police officer or give religious speeches when I know nothing
I mean, it's
about
possible you
what's in the
don't have
Bible.
to like.
So
I guess if you're, I was gonna say it's possible you won't have to use the gun, but like if it's, I don't know,
I mean, within a course of a
full
month.
in like any major metropolitan city,
Yeah.
you're probably
Shit's
at
gonna
least
happen.
drawing it once.
Domestic
Yeah.
violence dispute, and you got to
Yeah.
separate like a married
Yeah.
couple. Like,
I
yeah,
don't
that,
know.
No thanks. I'd rather get
Putting
vomited
people
on
in
by
the drunk
kids
tank like
than,
left and
than
right.
any of that.
Nick, what's yours?
I think I'm gonna say the Pope just because my brain is like I could have way too much fun with this, and if it's only for a month anyways, I'm probably gonna get de-poped or impeached or whatever the correct
Also,
term
I
is.
should mention that like no one knows you're only doing this for a month. Like you start it and everyone just thinks you're this for however long, and then when the
Ooh.
month ends, you just magically get to leave and like don't say anything.
Like I would love to do like a full-on Catholic match with, I'm not Catholic or anything, but like
just not even knowing what to do and just
not
kind of
even
do
knowing
what you think you
like
should do.
what's going on. Like I'd be playing Surf and Bird. I would be like watching like a hockey game on my phone that I'd been betting on or something and like screaming at it. Like yeah, just something like that to make a complete circus of it.
I'm also gonna be the Pope.
Okay.
And just so you know, you
Okay.
can't actually be removed from office if you're the Pope. You stay in, so you can't be depoped.
Beautiful.
So you'd have to,
Yeah.
you'd have to get.
You'd have to die.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Or you
Yeah.
can resign. I think there was a Pope
Okay.
who resigned.
I'll go ahead and resign, but we'll table the other option.
I
for now.
hope that I'm not so bad that I get a cap in my large hat.
I would probably make it 30
before
like
a
30
month.
minutes.
Oh, that is actually a very good question. Very good question.
Do any other professions come to mind that you think should have been in this conversation before we move on?
Coal miner.
Ooh,
Firefighter.
that's just like, do you
Firefighter.
want to sign up to like die early?
Yeah.
Yeah, firefighter too. Jay just said
Firefighter's
that.
tough for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
I would also say like an oil worker, like one of those rigs in the middle of the ocean.
Deadliest catch.
Ooh.
Ice
I mean,
truckers.
Yeah.
Before I get canceled by any listeners out there, I just want to go out and say I didn't like pick what I thought are the three hardest jobs. I don't really know why I chose those three. The three, those are just kind of the ones I decided on.
It's just the QOTD. You
Yeah.
don't ask.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
That reminded me of a similar question that my friend and I always go back and forth on. It's like, would you rather be like a running back in the NFL for a play, be on the penalty kill for like a 2-minute shift and have to block shots, or the third one I can't remember is like be in the paint in a basketball game? It's like you can't really win on any of those.
Or
No.
like be like a catcher in the MLB for like a whole inning or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, thank you. No, I would die.
Good QOTD, Mac. I like having the multiple choice there. That was a good little twist.
Yeah, I'm trying to switch up the format of these, not have them all be the same. So
For sure. Just a reminder that QOTD was brought to you by Brackish Life. If you're like us and grew up on the water and outdoors, then Brackish Life is perfect for you. They have a wide selection of gear from UV shirts to hoodies and hats. It is Real Bay apparel made by Real Bay people. Head to www.brackish.life today to check them out. A little salty, a little fresh, Brackish Life. All right, let's do our Stanley Cup final wrap-up. Vegas obviously wins the game-clinching Game 5 at home, 9-3 against the Florida Panthers. Jonathan Marchessault is your Conn Smythe winner. He becomes the first undrafted player since Wayne Gretzky to do so back in 1988. I think it's worth noting that Mark Stone netted a hat trick, and Jonathan Quick, Alec Martinez, and Phil Kessel all become 3-time Stanley Cup champions. Thoughts, comments?
Ooh.
Oh, come on.
I hate no, it's not Vegas. I was indifferent to them winning. I just hate that Jonathan Quick and Alec Martinez had the same number of Stanley Cups as Jonathan Taves and Patrick Kane. So that's all I have to say.
Out of those
it's
three,
always
at least like
fuck the
Martinez
Canes.
like played the whole playoffs too.
Yeah, Quick.
That's true.
It's like, you know,
And Kessel too.
and Kessel. Well, no,
Yeah.
Kessel's allowed. That's okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
I will say this though, it's like in the celebration, you knew which one was Phil. That's all I'm gonna say. But
Oh yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
yeah.
So I'll say this. I was a little let down by Mark Stone's reaction. I was like, okay, he's gonna like get fired up. We're gonna get an F-bomb that's bleeped out. Like we're like some type of like brouhaha. I don't know. I guess Ovechkin's celebrations.
I was just about to say,
ingrained in my brain.
nobody's
Yeah.
touching that one. Like all the
Yeah.
frustration that those guys went through. I don't think anyone's ever gonna like until the Leafs win. I don't think anyone's ever gonna
Yeah.
like. And who knows if these players will even
Or
still be
McDavid,
along there,
maybe we
so.
could see that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but we all know that guy shows no emotion. Period.
That's-
So.
yeah.
The Ovi one, because it was in the same building, so I guess for me it was like he's gonna go berserk, and he just didn't. I was like, damn, that's kind of a letdown.
Yeah,
Ovi, and then honestly, Big Z had a good one too.
true. That one's pretty
Oh
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah,
Dude, like he's just such like a good old like Winnipeg boy. He was just like vibrating with excitement in that interview. You could tell he like was having a hard time making words. And I love when that happens to hockey players because they just default to like the normal hockey player robot answer. And he's like, yeah, we were just out there battling. It's great to do it with 30 of my best friends,
Yeah.
like just like the stereotypical like hockey
Yeah.
dude answers. That was awesome.
I was watching with two buddies, and one of them made a really good point. He was like, I don't think we'll ever see. He was like, I don't think I've ever seen a hockey player interview like after a championship. Like, I think he compared it to who was it? Sherman,
yeah,
Richard
Richard
Sherman?
Sherman.
who was like, oh, they sucked or whatever. Like,
Oh, the Crabtree thing.
Yeah,
After the
exactly.
NFC
Like,
game.
like he was just like, I don't think we'll ever see an NHL player like trash the like they have nothing but respect because they're all just a bunch of like good old Canadian boys who are just like, oh, they deserve to win too, and it could have been theirs just as easily. So hats off to them. They really battled, and like it's so true though. Like
It
that's
is
kinda
so
how it
true.
goes.
Although I could have seen Jack Eichel taking some pot shots or something.
Yeah,
I will
I
say
could've seen that.
his interview. I was about to tear up with him when he was when he was saying all the stuff about like, man, the way they let me come in here and get the surgery, and just like it made me like coming to the rink again. Like you could just feel the raw like
It made the
emotion.
Sabres look real dumb.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Eichel played unbelievable in that clinching game. I think he had 3 assists. He was all over the ice. Mark Stone had the hat trick, as I mentioned. He becomes the first player since Peter Forsberg in '96 to score a hat trick in a Stanley Cup final game. I think it's worth noting Forsberg also scored his hat trick against the Florida Panthers.
I think it's the first hat trick in a cup clinching game itself since like
Ever.
1922 or something absurd like that.
I read ever. I don't even know.
Tungsten arm O'Doyle or
Exactly.
whatever. We're
It
back
could
to
have been
this again.
Swift Jimmy McCracken or something like that.
Yep.
That's a crazy stat. I think another crazy stat, maybe the craziest stat, is Jack Eichel is the first player to ever win the Stanley Cup that has made more than $10 million in a season.
That's
That
nuts.
is crazy.
And it's crazy because like, I mean, we talk about like, oh, McDavid should be in the playoffs. Like he's really going to elevate his game when he gets to the playoffs. Austin Matthews should be in the playoffs. I mean, haven't seen him yet, but like, look at what this guy does in his first outing in the postseason.
Yeah.
It's just incredible.
Yeah.
That's pretty incredible.
I shouldn't say 10 million in a season. I would be remiss if I didn't correct myself. It's $10 million AAV on the contract. I don't know what Ovechkin was making the year he won it in that exact season, but nonetheless, a pretty wild stat. So kudos to the Golden Knights. They were clearly the better team. I feel like once they beat Edmonton, it was just like the floodgates opened and they went batshit crazy.
I think we kind of have to talk about the layover or the layoff for Florida. I mean, second longest ever. You can't say at this point that didn't affect them.
What was it? 12 days off, I think you said?
10 days. Yeah.
10 days.
Yeah, it just kind of put them into like a little cat nap, basically,
Yeah.
Here we go again. Yeah, I guess people do kind of overlook that, myself included. This is always the one part of the post Stanley Cup part of the season that I think people open their eyes a lot at is the injuries that guys played through. Kachuk, I know that was the big headline going into Game 5. He did not dress for Game 5. He played through games 3 and 4 with a broken sternum. Apparently, his teammates were helping him put his gear on in the locker room, and his brother Brady was helping him get out of bed in the morning.
Yeah, that's insane. That's brutal.
Ouch.
I mean, yeah, and I think that goes back to the Kolasar hit that happened in Game 3, I believe. So,
Yep.
I mean, that's pretty insane that he came back in that game, scored the game-tying goal, and then played the next game too. That's insane.
These guys are just built different.
And then there's the
Yeah.
Kachucks. They're built very different. So kudos to Matthew for gutting that out through games 3 and 4. Aaron Ekblad played with a broken foot, 2 shoulder dislocations, and an oblique tear. I mean, I don't know. That's like basically put him in the Star Wars like Darth Vader outfit at that point. He's a
Seriously.
robot.
It's insane. Yeah, like how I don't even understand how that's possible.
It's like what's the dude from SpongeBob when they're selling chocolate? It's like every morning
Yeah.
I break my
Oh,
arms,
yeah.
and every
Yeah,
night I break my
exactly.
legs or something.
It's like
Yep.
they literally put him together with like duct tape and enough painkillers to kill a
Yeah.
horse.
He's
Yeah.
the Black Knight from Monty Python. His arms just keep like falling off.
Yeah. Literally like Anakin Skywalker, limbs cut off, whole 9 yards. So kudos to Ekblad, man. I mean, he got some heat in the finals. Didn't really play his best, but when you read this, it's like, okay, you gotta get the guy some slack.
Yeah, seriously.
Schlempo, he played through a torn meniscus. Gudis, he played through the entire cup final with a high ankle sprain. And then this one just came over. Brandon Montour might even miss the start of the season. He played through a torn labrum.
Oof.
Yeah,
Damn.
that's rough.
I mean, not enough people are talking about the Schlempo torn meniscus one. You know, that's one I haven't heard a lot about.
Did I say it wrong? Did I say it wrong? Schlempo.
No, that's how you say it. What number does he wear? I forget.
I have no. What? Am I crazy? I'm looking at the notes. It says Schlempo.
I just put that in there to see if you would read it.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I was going to say, I was like, I don't even know who Schlempo is. Like,
Yeah,
what-
Schlempo played torn meniscus, bro.
I've been exposed now. I was reading. I was like, who's Schlempo? Like, what? Like,
I love how you just read it with that, like, just let's see what else. Schlempo.
well, because I was scared. I was reading it. I was like, I don't know how to say this name, but I'm just gonna say it real casually. Like, see if
Saw
anyone
Mac
catches it.
type that in there, and I was like, "Oh, I have no idea where this is going."
I
Yeah.
tried typing it while no one was looking at the doc, but anyway,
I have a
Sorry.
torn brain now.
it's my
but,
end of the year prank. I had to do it.
It was a good one. I'll give you that. I played it off well though. No one would have known.
You did.
It would have been like, oh, 7th D man. Yeah, no big deal.
I
I
knew that
guarantee you,
Nick
like,
realized it because, like, for the last 5 minutes, I was trying not to laugh, and I was like making eye contact with him, and he was just like shaking his head at me, like he knew what I did.
Oh God. All right.
I guarantee you, someone was like, "Oh yeah, that guy."
Yeah.
Well, I was like,
it's
oh,
tough.
Dave
Yeah.
Schlempo. Like Dave
Yeah.
Schlempo. That's a
There
name.
you go.
Like, why
Hats
not?
off to Schlempo.
Yeah.
Do you guys think the Panthers are gonna be good next year? I mean,
I do.
You think so?
I think what they just did is going to make a lot of people want to play there.
Is Spencer Knight coming back? Hopefully, I mean, that could be a big thing if he comes back from the. He's in the assisted players program, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe he comes back. Maybe Bob is still signed for a while, right?
Yep. I've heard there's rumors that DeBrincat could be interested there.
I could see
Yeah.
that.
Yep. It's gonna be an interesting offseason for sure. That's gonna be on a future episode. But honestly, I'd love to say it was a great Stanley Cup final. It really wasn't. It was kind of a blowout. Vegas was much better. So shout out to the Vegas Golden Knights. And because Mac pranked me, I will bring this up. Mac, I believe a couple months ago, when TDO was on and Nick was gone, I forced you to make a hot take. So I'm not going to hold you fully accountable to this.
I deserve this.
But do you want to remind the folks of what your hot take was? I believe right around March 1 or somewhere around there.
Yeah, I will. So I said right around that time that I thought there was a high chance that the Vegas Golden Knights do not make the playoffs. And my reasoning was because of the goaltending situation. I was like, they've got a billion injured goalies. And Mark Stone, I think at the time, had either just come back, or that might have been when he had like come back and then like left again briefly. And that like there was just a lot of injury questions, a lot of question marks. Eichel really wasn't playing that well at the time. So I don't know. There was just a lot of reason to doubt. And I mean, honestly, Aiden Hill is the one that proved me wrong. I think that's really the breaking point there. Otherwise, I could have been right, maybe, although he didn't really play that big of a role in getting them into the playoffs, I suppose. But yeah, I ate shit on that one for sure.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. It kind of made sense in the moment, but it's just so crazy how that.
Well, they were like chasing too. I think in the standings they were like third in the division, and everybody else was barking right up their ass. So yeah,
pretty wild. So yeah, that just about does it. Vegas wins the cup. Florida has a bunch of injuries. The parade for Vegas will be Saturday night on the Strip. What could possibly go wrong?
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah. Now, I'm kind of disappointed. I thought we were going to see some cooler videos out at the clubs last night. Didn't see a whole lot where I was like, I don't know. Usually you get some funny shit. I didn't see much.
Yeah. And good for the guys, right? They get to blow off some steam and don't have to worry about looking like assholes the next day.
And I want to give Phil Kessel the quote of the night. Jackie Redmond asked him how he was going to celebrate with the boys, and he said, "It's going to be a fun night. I'm just going to try to not throw up," which I think we can all relate to at one point in our life. So,
yep.
Shout out, Phil. All right, let's move on to the discussion portion of the episode, which is presented by Kane Footwear, who I think Nick has a word from.
I do. You guys heard Harry just list off all those injuries that those guys played with. Well, I know how they can get on the road to recovery, and that's by using the Kane Revive, made with bounce back foam, made from sugarcane technology. It's good for you. It's good for the environment, and it's good for your body to help recover after you work out. Head to the link in our bio today to get a pair of the most comfortable shoes you will ever own. Father's Day's coming up. Everyone knows, go out there and get your dad a pair of Canes. He's going to love it, whether he's grilling, doing yard work, name it, he'll love it.
Amen. All right. For this discussion portion, we have two questions. The first one, and I'll ask you through this. What is your favorite storyline to come out of the Knights winning the cup? Jackson, let's start with you.
Oh, favorite storyline. That's tough. I mean, for me, it's got to be Marchessault winning the Conn Smythe, one of the former Florida Panthers guys, him and Riley Smith beating their former team to win a Stanley Cup on home ice. Third teams in the last 8 seasons to win at home for the Stanley Cup. So I think that's my favorite. I love some of the answers Marchessault was giving last night after he got the Conn Smythe. I think he's just a really great personality, another good Canadian boy, all that kind of good stuff. And I think I saw his video of him and his kids afterwards on TikTok where his kid's like, "You won, Daddy. You won." And then at the end of the video, he goes like, "We're winners." I'm like, that just touched my heart. So yeah, Jonathan Marchessault, lovable guy.
Yeah, that was a cool moment. And his wife was there with him. It was real touching. I agree. Mac, what was yours?
I was also going to say that, but I'll give my second one. I'll go with Chandler Stevenson, just kind of emerging as like a superstar for this team this postseason. I think he really just kind of, I mean, I'll be bold here. I'll make another bold take relating to the Vegas Golden Knights. I'm sure this will age really well. I don't know if they win the cup without Chandler Stevenson. I think he played that big of a role, like that he mattered that much that maybe they don't get this far without him.
I agree.
Yeah, he scored twice in game 3, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you probably don't win that game without him.
Yep.
He might have scored in game 5, but there were so many goals I can't remember.
Right, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
I think I gotta go with, as much as I, have shit on this team and hated on this team, and especially the group that was there from the inaugural season, it was cool to see those guys get the cup first. As soon as Stone was done with it, it went right to Riley Smith, who I think then gave it to Marchessault, who then gave it to Carlson, or I don't know, fill in the order there. But you could tell that it meant a lot to those guys who had waited, at least 5 or 6 years for it.
Yeah, and I think for me, this probably won't come to a surprise to you guys, but just Jack Eichel, man. I mean, a guy that I really like as a player. I love the way he plays. He's an American-born guy. He was, kind of the Austin Matthews of USA Hockey before Austin Matthews because he was 1 year early and just had a brutal, brutal ending in Buffalo. We bitched about how much we had to talk about that trade rumor. He finally gets traded, and within a season of him getting there, here he is hoisting the cup, and he led the team in scoring in terms of points. So shout out to him, man. I mean, to get surgery on your neck, come back, fight, and then win the cup. It's pretty remarkable.
And I totally agree. And I think the other one, the obvious other one on the table is the Bruce Cassidy story. I feel like we have to talk about that. I mean, just talk about a giant middle finger to the Bruins organization, who probably should have been there.
And how about him? How about him being like, "You can't kick me out of the club. I'm in the club now."
That
was so funny.
Yeah. No, that was cool.
We also ought to mention Aiden Hill. I also loved what he said when they interviewed him. They're like, "Aiden, can you believe this?" He goes, "I mean, no." If I'm being honest, no, I can't. But I guess it's happening. So
very honest. I love that. For the second part of the discussion, from a fan perspective, what were your thoughts on this year's Stanley Cup playoffs as a whole? Nick, let's start with you.
I thought it started great. I thought the first round was one of the best first rounds we've ever had. And maybe we kind of jinxed it by saying that right after it happened, because I think it kind of went downhill from there. The second round there's still a little something going on, but by the time we got to conference finals, we've got, multiple series that were at 3-0 and stuff like that. It was just, not enjoyable.
Yeah, call a spade a spade. It was a total roller coaster drop. You're at the top for round one, and then it just goes down from there, like Nick said. But I think for me, and I've said this on this podcast before, and even recently, I think the direct reason for that is the playoff format. Yeah, I think you bring it back to a 1-8, and that probably inverse. I think that brings the first round. You're at the bottom of the incline of the roller coaster and you're getting all the way up, and then the final is a drop. So Gary, your move.
So true. Like that, It just needs to go back now.
Yeah, I agree. Jay, what was yours?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think I agree the first round was great. I think we had some great matchups throughout the rest of the playoffs. It's just none of these series went as long as I think a lot of us wanted them to. I mean, Carolina and New Jersey was 5 games. Obviously, Eastern Conference was 4-0 sweep. Panthers and Maple Leafs was 5 games. And even like Vegas and Dallas was 3-0 Vegas before they finally took care of business. So I think even with some of the series that went longer, they weren't as competitive as we were hoping for. And especially on the Eastern Conference side, none of the series went as long as they probably should have, at least from an entertainment perspective.
I just completely echo everything you guys said. Round one was electric. Everything else, I'm just going to be blunt, kind of sucked. I think we had 1 Game 7 overall after the first round, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I mean, we had good games in there, here and there, but
who did Dallas play in round 2? I'm trying Seattle.
Kraken.
And that went 7, and I think that was the last one.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah, so that just kind of puts it in perspective. Real quick, I'm curious. Is there one series that stands out to you as the best?
Ooh.
For me, it's gonna be I'm gonna say Seattle versus Colorado.
That was a good one.
Fun.
It was a competitive series. Actually, no, I'm gonna change my answer. It was Seattle and Dallas.
That was a good one too.
Those last 3 games of that series were absolutely incredible, especially the last 2. Like, so good. And even Seattle still fighting and getting a goal with like 15 seconds left in Game 7 on the road. I mean, that was just an incredible series to watch. And the fact that an expansion team in their second season made it to the second round after taking down the Stanley Cup champions. I mean, that's a good of a playoff run as you can get for a second-year expansion team.
I'd probably go maybe Bruins Panthers, or
that was a good one.
Maybe Devils Rangers.
Yeah, those were both great. I think I'd have to say Bruins Panthers. I mean, that was just so much fun to watch. But I mean, I had a lot of fun watching that Kings team too.
I was gonna say, I think
Actually,
mine
shit, that was a really good one. Totally
Didn't-
forgot.
didn't go 7, but that Kings Oilers series was sick. I had a lot of fun watching that one. So I might throw that in there. Jersey, New York was great. That game 7 was, even though it was kind of a blowout, but then the Truba hit, it was kind of wild. It was like, holy crap. So overall, I'd give the playoffs, in my opinion, like a C plus. I
Yeah.
think
B
mostly,
minus.
yeah, somewhere in that range. All right, let's move on to some league news not pertaining to the cup, and then we will be out of here pretty quick. The Rangers, they've officially hired Peter Laviolette as their head coach. Nick and Mac, I would love to hear your thoughts on this.
I don't really know what to think, to be honest. Like, because I'm still kind of the mindset that, and most Caps fans will skewer me for this one. But I'm kind of still of the mindset that, like, what happened in Washington the last couple of years is not really his fault. And like I've said multiple times, I don't really have any like bad blood towards him like most other Caps fans do. They're like, oh my God, he wouldn't play the youth and blah, blah, blah. I hope the Rangers are ready to
He never
not
called
play
up
any other
McMichael.
young players. Yeah, literally. It's like, dude, I don't fucking know what you want. I'm sure he'll be a good coach for the Rangers. I really think it'll be a fine move for them. I wouldn't even be surprised if it worked out really well for them.
Yep, that's what I'm concerned about.
Okay. I would agree with your guys' assessments there. The Flames, they are hiring Ryan Huska as their next head coach. He's 47 years old, has been an assistant coach in Calgary since 2018, and was the head coach of the Stockton Heat slash Adirondack Flames before that. So, yeah.
Yeah, good
Pat
for
on
him.
my back. Pat on the back to Harry for pronouncing that, by the way.
Forgetting Adirondack.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
looked at that. I was like,
Pretty
"Bro,
normal thing to say, but all right.
nope, not for me." So,
Yeah, interesting move in Calgary, going with someone that's not a stuffy old dude. So, good for them.
not in the old boys club. Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit of fresh blood. See if that gets Hubie's juices flowing over there.
Has to. I mean, that team has to do something because they are just in a tailspin right now.
Oh man, I cannot wait for the season preview, boys.
Because we're gonna shit on them and then they're gonna go win the
Team
Stanley
me up,
Cup.
baby.
Yeah.
Team me
Yeah.
up. I can't wait to make a bunch of really incorrect predictions again.
The Pittsburgh Penguins have hired Jason Spezza as their assistant general manager. Don't think this comes as a surprise to many, considering this is Dubas's right wing man, so right hand man. So yeah, pretty pumped. Cool. We still don't have a GM, so we'll see. Michael Andalor.
And Lauer.
Yep.
Has agreed to purchase the Ottawa Senators for $950 million US. He is the longtime owner of the OHL's Hamilton Bulldogs, as well as owning a minority stake in the Montreal Canadiens. So Snoop Dogg lost out, but I guess this guy becomes a winner.
Apparently, this is like a move people are very excited about too, because he's obviously going to have to get rid of his share in the Habs, but he's like a total hockey guy. Like apparently still plays beer league as a goalie and just loves it.
It's funny because in the notes it actually says he purchased the Ottawa Senators for around $950 US.
Yeah, I added the million. I made sure of that.
Definitely.
Yeah, I wasn't going to
But
get roasted
I mean,
on
I
that
wouldn't have been that surprised.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Around $950 US.
The Philadelphia Flyers, they have hired Patrick Sharp as a special advisor to hockey operations. A lot of change going over there in Philly. Jonesy gave his farewells on the broadcast. Now they're bringing in Patrick Sharp as well. So Philly's definitely doing something over there.
I think that's the best way you can put it, is that they're doing things and just bring in old guys who are on the Flyers. It wouldn't surprise me if they like hired Ron Hextall as like a managerial assistant or something.
Yeah, that's one I can get behind. Self-sabotage.
So I'm excited. He's going to go back to one of his former teams for him. I'm excited to see what Sharpie can do in the front office.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's move on to some rumors and updates. The LA Kings are rumored to be interested in Pierre-Luc Dubois and Tom Wilson. Wow. What do we have to say about this one, fellas?
I have
Before-
nothing to say about it because it's a rumor and it's based in nothing. And just because they've kicked tires on it, yeah, okay. The Capitals have kicked tires on Jack Eichel and Austin Matthews. Like that, literally, that's just them being like, yeah, we would love to have this guy on our team. Guess what? He's not for sale. Move on.
So like realistically, I actually want to hear this. I'm not trying to be like a troll. What would it take for you to take Tom or to trade Tom? He's in the contract year, right?
A lot.
I've seen a lot of people, a lot of Caps Twitter people like saying, okay, I know everyone's attached to him, whatever, but I would do it for this, and that. I am fully of the opinion that I don't move him, period, because I just think that, like, for the last however many years he's been on the team, it's just been kind of this like under the rug thing where it's like he is the next leader of this team. Like he's our next captain. He's the future once Ovi's gone. He's the leader that the guys in the room respect. I don't think you can assign a value to it. And people are like, oh, like you really wouldn't give up like however many points he scored last year. That's what they're equating to, which is so stupid in my opinion. It's like, okay, you're really equating this guy, Tom Wilson, to how many points he scored last year. That proves you don't get what he means to this hockey team. It's not about that.
I totally agree with Mac. I think like what he brings to the table, you can't really quantify. Like it's a multitude of intangible assets. Like, yes, there's the physicality. Yes, there's, the guy can produce when healthy, but it's what Max said. It's the locker room. He's the heart and soul of that team. He's probably been the best player on that team for the past 2 seasons, if you think about it.
And to me, it's like he's been around during the Ovi era,
Yes.
and I want somebody who's been around during the Ovi era to lead the next group of Capitals. Like I want somebody who Ovi taught how to lead the team. I don't want some fucking random guy who can score us 1 billion goals.
And it makes sense that it's Tom Wilson. Like it wasn't going to be Brooks Lake because he was too old. It wasn't going to be Jay Beagle because they moved him. It's Tom Wilson who can do it with his voice and back it up with his playing style. I think honestly, it would take like multiple high first round draft picks to do this. Like I'm talking 3 or 4.
That and like current established players too, because you don't know what you're going to get with those draft picks, and I'm not willing to gamble. Like, but that's what it comes down to. To me, there's too many like, well, yes, if the draft pick pans out, and if this guy, whatever. So it's just like to me, I'm just not doing it. Period. Like, if you want my honest opinion, there's no trade that I'm accepting for Tom Wilson if I'm the GM.
I'm not saying these 2 players are exactly the same, but it's probably the same reason that Florida won't move Tkachuk.
Yeah. I mean, I'm picking up what you're putting down. Yeah, I understand.
This is the guy you need to build the team around. Like that's why it doesn't make any fucking sense to me that people are speculating about trades. So, and once again, I have no reason to believe that the Capitals are considering trades. I think this is literally all just teams' wish lists, and like, sure, I'm sure guys have called him about it. Like,
they'll take the phone calls all day long until someone gets their attention. But I don't think it's happening.
I will say, for some reason, if he were, I don't think he will, and he's been very vocal that he loves Washington and he wants to stay. For some reason, I literally was like, yeah, the Kings, that makes sense. Like, I don't know why.
Yeah.
I mean, he would fit in.
I feel like they're known for like big power forwards. He will be 30 years old at the end of this next season when he goes for his new contract. Worth noting. Okay.
So will I.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, we're the same age.
You and Tommy boy.
Yeah.
Nice.
Alrighty.
Connor Hellebuck is not expected to sign with the Jets. He is going to be an unrestricted free agent. I would like to steal Mac's phrase and say, Connor Hellebuck, you are a Pittsburgh Penguin.
I think Connor Hellebuck, you are a Buffalo Sabre.
That sounds really correct.
Doesn't sound as good.
The thing is, does he sign if he gets traded? Because the Jets are going to have to trade him if he's not going to sign an extension with them. Does he sign an extension with the Sabres if that's where he wants to go? So I think
I don't know.
If there's a place he actively wants to go to, I think it's pretty likely he signs an extension. But if he goes to Buffalo, it depends on where Buffalo is at and when the trade is done. Is the trade during the off season where there's hype around Buffalo, or is it 30 games in when they're may potentially be underachieving for whatever reason? So would you want to go on a team that's around 500 at that point, or a team that has some potential? So
Yeah.
I think if the Jets probably want to get the most value out of him for a trade, the most sense would be to trade him during the offseason, because
I agree.
that team would have him
Absolutely.
for a full season.
Yeah.
But specifically with Buffalo, I think they could squeeze a lot out of him if they wait until the season starts, if that's where he wants to go.
The
And
other
if
one
Buffalo
I
wants him.
think would make a lot of sense is Ottawa.
Yeah.
That
I can see
Yes.
I could see that one even more. We talked about the kid Levy or Devin. What's his name?
Devin Levi.
Yeah, he had a sick end of the season. We don't know what he has in store. He could carry that team for
Yeah.
all we know.
But you're right. Buffalo could say we're good, honestly.
Ottawa
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense, and that's a scary team if they land him.
Yeah, seriously.
I think they're gonna do a lot of stuff this summer.
Yeah, new owner, like you just said too. So wouldn't be shocked. Tristan Jarry is looking for a 6 or 7 year deal this offseason. I have no comment.
LMAO, good luck.
Yeah, like
buddy.
like how do we feel about that, Harry?
What makes you think that? Like,
Why
okay,
on God's earth?
Tristan Jarry is looking for a 6 or 7 year deal this offseason, and I am looking for $1 million this summer.
I'd like
Yeah.
a Ferrari this week.
Yeah, I'm always.
I want to
looking
date
for-
Margot Robbie. It's
Yeah,
not, but
there
it's
you
not
go.
going to
Exactly.
happen.
There we go.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. That I just can't see a team giving him that much term for a guy who can't really play a full season ever.
You know,
Could have just stopped at can't play.
this is like right usually when the New York Islanders swoop in and go, here's 27 years at 13 million per.
Was it Rick DiPietro all
Mhm.
over again?
Yep.
Or the
Yeah.
Flyers, like, hey, we actually need yet another goalie, and we need to get to the cap floor. So come on over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. The Caps are actively shopping Evgeny Kuznetsov and Anthony Mantha per Frank Saravelli. Nick and Mac, you guys can take the floor on this one.
Anthony Mantha, you are a San Jose Shark.
You didn't have to do him that dirty.
I was gonna say
I don't know, it just
Coyote.
feels right.
Yeah, Coyote.
that
No.
too.
He's not on LTIR, so he's not going to be a
True.
Coyote.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I'm totally good with the Mantha thing. Get him out of here. I've zero reservations there. You can send him wherever you want for whoever you want, and I'd say good deal. Kuznetsov, this one's so tough for me. I feel like this is like a toxic ex that you've like broken up with like a million times, but like somehow you're like, but maybe it could still work, you know? Like that's how I feel about him. I'm like, well, now we have a new coach. Like maybe it'll be different. Like maybe we should hang on to him and maybe it'll be good. But like, I'm kind of okay with whatever happens with Kuzi. Like if we decide to move on and we find the deal that's right, great. I guess, you know, it was what it was, and he did a lot for us and yada, yada, yada. But if we keep him around and maybe he has a good season with a new coach, I don't know. Nick, where are you at on this one?
So I have the perfect analogy for Evgeny Kuznetsov.
Okay.
And this is a deep cut for all you OG Empty Betters listeners. Evgeny Kuznetsov is like my Jag. It looked
Yup.
great. It looked great. There was a couple times where it performed incredibly. There was that one season, you know, where they won the cup that he probably should have won the Conn Smythe in and was just playing on a completely different planet. But it's been a pretty steady decline for the last 4 or 5 years since then. I think it's going to be very, very difficult to move this guy. I think what you're going to have to do if you're GM BM is probably go and say, I need you to take this asset and here's another one to get you to take this asset.
I wonder if he couldn't move both of these players in the same deal, but that is also not, I mean, you probably
Tom
can't.
Wilson too.
You probably
Right.
can't, right? Because you're probably gonna have to do the same thing with Mantha, even more so. Like Mantha, you're probably gonna have to do like a do me a favor and take this guy and his fucking contract, and here's like a second round pick to go with it or something like that.
I mean, either way, I expect them to be eating contract on both.
Yeah, probably.
Would
Off
you
the
have
top
done,
of your you go.
Yeah, I was just saying, would you have still done the Jakub Vrana trade for Anthony Mantha?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, I
It
think
made
it
sense.
was probably the right call. I mean,
Nick and Mac, off the top of your head, got it. Like first jersey you think of when you picture Evgeny Kuznetsov traded. What team do you see him rocking a sweater for?
I don't know why, but I see Nashville.
Oh, I was
Oh,
gonna say the
no,
Oilers
bad.
for some reason.
Because
the Oilers.
because
Mhm.
Trotzy is
Oh,
the
God.
GM in Nashville now. And I don't know. He helped Trotz win the cup in Washington.
I could see Nashville.
I could see Barry being like, you know what? I'll give
Ooh.
this guy another fucking chance.
Yeah.
And honestly, here's the problem. I think wherever he goes, he's going to be really good because I think that there's still a lot of really good hockey left in Evgeny Kuznetsov. I think he just needs a change of scenery, right? We basically heard that from sources close to him that he's lost his love for the game in DC and all that. And who knows again, if that has to do with coaching or just if he needs a change of scenery in general, I don't know, but yeah, we
Interesting.
could talk about this probably all day.
I got two more that I think would be very typical of these teams to go after this player, and that is the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah.
The Canadians, I could see.
Montreal, I could see for sure.
Montreal would make sense.
Yeah.
I'll add in a couple of Western Conference teams to probably make this more realistic. Colorado Avalanche and the St. Louis Blues.
I could see both of those.
Yeah.
I could see both of
St.
those.
Louis loves their Russians too.
Now,
They do.
Mantha, I don't know why. I close my eyes and I think Flyers, Devils, or like something horrible like that.
Flyers would make would make
Oh my
too
God.
much fucking sense.
Yeah.
That
Like he would
make
get top 6 minutes there for sure.
Mantha for Hayes straight up.
Done.
Jesus.
Done.
Tortorella would probably do
I don't
that
know.
himself without telling the GM about it.
And then he would kill him in practice. But
And then our last rumor, Montreal is allegedly trying to trade up to get as high as the second overall pick. They currently have the fifth. I don't know how that'll all shake out, but we'll see. AHL update. Let the Hershey Bears boys take this one.
scary one last night, but the Bears pulled it off. The series is now 2-1 Firebirds. The Bears had a 3-1 lead and a 4-2 lead in the third period, and the Birds came all the way back to tie it up in the last minute. Fortunately, Riley Sutter gets it done in overtime on a total Max style crease monkey goal. But it was sketchy for a while.
What did I tell you? That team is fucking scary.
They're very good.
They're like really good. And it's scary. I don't know.
When you have last year's first overall pick playing for you, and Shane
True.
Wright. Yeah.
True.
Mac, we will wrap this up with trivia. The floor is all yours.
Sounds good. Trivia is, as always, brought to you by Elwood's Liquor and Tap. Support your local dive bar and have a beer at Elwood's Liquor and Tap, home of the Pizza Luge, located in the heart of downtown Milwaukee on Water Street. The 70s-inspired bar has a little something for everyone. From daily happy hour, rotating taps, free birthday perks, and a four-season patio, a good time is always around the corner at Elwood's. They've also got the full NHL package, so make sure to head there for first game of the season next, October, and then they got TV screens inside and out, and you can bring your dogs to the bar as well, which is awesome. So head over to Elwood's. And without further ado, let's close out the season with a little bit of trivia. I had a hard time picking. There's actually a lot of really interesting things that have happened on this day in history on June 14th throughout the National Hockey League. The one that I want to do, the problem is I can't really do much. Let me see what this does. Let me see if I can give you something really vague, and if you can
Let me see how
something with it.
dumb they are.
It's more like I know how smart you guys are, so if I give you too much, you're gonna know right away. But this is if you get this one too quick, we'll do my other one. This is not like a game related thing. This isn't about any one game or one series or anything. This is just like this day in like NHL history in general. Okay. And that in and itself is a pretty big hint. What, again, I'm going to be really vague. What significant thing happened to the NHL on this day in 1993? What was it? What was announced on this day in 1993 that was pretty significant?
Is it Do you guys want me to go?
You go.
Yeah.
Is it 2 new teams being added?
It's certainly one.
Okay.
And are you asking us to name the team?
Yeah.
I
Need
think I know
three?
I think I
Oh.
know. Pretty sure I know the answer. I'm going to
Okay.
guess the Florida Panthers.
That's right.
Nice.
Okay.
All right. So we'll do the other one, but I just wanted to, I figured that was relevant enough. We had to get that one out there.
Sure.
Okay. So with that being said, let me scroll up here. Oh yeah. Okay. This is good.
Oh shit.
So,
Oh man.
all right, let me figure out how I want to read this one to you.
Scott Young.
Correct. All right, so talk amongst yourselves for a minute while I dissect this.
Daniel Carcillo.
Final answer.
What the hell could he possibly be asking?
I don't know. I
Or is
swear
he
to
just-
I swear to God, if he's like digging through to find some like 1920s like
No, I have
goofy
I have
ass
Timothy
hockey.
O'Toole.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
trying to figure out which parts of it I need to not read aloud, like which part I want to make the answer, you know?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Dun. So how was yours? What plans do you have this summer, Nick?
Let's see.
Give the
I
listeners.
want to try bungee jumping without the cord, see how that goes. I figure I can only mess it up once, you know.
Oh man.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. So we've done it like this before. So I'll start really vague. You can fill in the blanks and then we'll get to the meat and potatoes. All right. So on this day in 2006, I'm pretty sure you can all tell me what 2 teams were playing in the Stanley Cup Finals.
We've been here before, yes.
Is this New Jersey and Anaheim?
No.
That was 03.
No. That was
Okay.
03. 06 is Edmonton and Carolina.
Correct.
Oh,
Okay, so we've
right.
gotten that out of the way. This was game 5 that was going on June 14th, 2006. Okay. This game went to overtime. And what's significant here is that a shorthanded goal was scored in overtime. I believe for the first time. Yeah. So for the first time in the cup final, that is shorthanded goal. So I'm looking for, can you tell me who scored the shorthanded goal? I'm not going to tell you which team. Maybe you remember who won game 5. Maybe you don't.
Okay.
And the final score of the game was 4-3. So extra credit, just any of the goal scorers and who won the game. That's just what we're going to do here.
So before we answer this, we had a trivia question. I believe it was 2 or 3 weeks ago about the same series, and it was Chris Pronger scored the penalty shot in game 1.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're telling me we have a shorthanded goal that won overtime?
Yeah, we do.
I think I know this.
All right, Nick, if you got it.
Yeah, because I'm not going to know this.
Is the shorthanded goal scorer Brian Marchment?
No.
Oh, shit.
Okay. Is it a Stahl brother?
Somebody tell me who won first. Who won game 5?
I'm going to guess Carolina won.
I think it was the Oilers that won it, right?
It was the Oilers. They staved off elimination. They avoided being eliminated and forced a game 6. So you're looking for an Oilers play. The Oilers won 4-3. So you got 4 Oilers goal scorers and 3.
Let's just get the shorthanded one. I feel like
they're all pretty household names. There's actually not many like, weird ones here. So
who is Ryan Smith?
No,
come on, that has to be the answer to every Oilers question.
Who is Alesh Hemsky?
Okay, so Alesh Hemsky had one of the goals,
but not the shorty winner.
Correct.
Okay.
So it would have been a guy in a penalty kill. Who was on the penalty kill for the Oilers back in the day?
Let me just retrace the matrix in my brain real quick.
Right.
And
I thought it was bad to be in the Matrix.
Who else was on that fucking team?
Okay, I'll tell you this.
I don't know.
The guy who scored, this is another crazy thing. The guy who scored the shorthanded goal, it was at 3:31 of the first overtime, right? So pretty early.
Quick.
He also scored the first goal of the game 16 seconds into the first period.
Wow.
Oh. So
And
they're only-
by doing that, he was also where was this?
Had to be the first start of the game, right?
I think, oh, I'm sure
Yeah.
it was. But I think he was, fuck, I don't know where it is now, but it said like he was the first person to score, like the first goal of the game and in overtime or something like that. I can't
So
remember.
the Oilers won 4-3, but they only had 3 different goal scorers, one of
Right.
which was Alesh Hemsky. So we have to name 2 other goal scorers.
Yes. And the Hurricanes had 3 goals, but only 2 goal scorers. So one of the Canes guys scored twice as well. The 2 Canes goal scorers are super fucking easy. You can knock those out like right away.
Brindamore.
No.
Stahl,
Yes.
probably Justin Williams.
Williams.
No.
I don't know. So we're guessing every goal scorer in the game.
Eric Stahl had 2 of them. So there's 2 of them.
Eric Cole.
Oh, good one.
No.
Joe Corvo.
No.
Was this too early for Alex Semin?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was
on the
still in
cap.
DC. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Let's
Good
Come
Hurricanes
on, this other
players
other
from
Canes guy
06.
is like major.
It's not Sergei Samsonov, is it?
No.
Okay.
I feel like if he's saying major, it means like major.
Yeah.
I mean, Eric Stahl is the major one, I think. Who
Right.
the hell else?
Good Hurricanes.
I
God.
was gonna say Brett Gleason, and I was like, a shot glass, Tanner Glass. That's not big.
What did I shoot out of here right before the episode?
Oh, the Wizard, Ray Whitney.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
Oh.
okay. So we got the Hurricanes guys, Stahl and
Stahl
Whitney,
twice and Whitney. Yep. So
and then Hemsky
two-
once.
Hemsky once, and then there was one other regulation Oiler one. This one is, I think you guys have guessed this guy like last time when I was looking for an Oilers goal scorer, if I'm not mistaken. A little bit of a deeper cut, but definitely like a household name for us NHL heads.
Was it
Oh.
Dustin Penner?
No, was he on the Oilers?
He was at one point, but probably not that early. He was on
Pisani.
he was on the Ducks the next year.
Pisani is the one who did the shorty and the first goal.
Oh.
Wow. So you just
Nice.
need one more goal scorer
Yep.
for the Oilers.
Yep. This is now twice I've made you guys guess Fernando Pisani.
You have.
Is this last goal scorer a big name or not really?
See, this is the one I'm saying is like a little bit of a deeper cut, but I think he's a total household name if you played any of the early NHL games like we all did. Like, I mean,
Oh. I didn't start playing NHL until
Can you-
2010.
Who is Sammy Sallow?
no, hold on. Let me
Multiple choice.
so he's a center
Okay.
and he's a right-handed center, Canadian
Is
player.
it Jared Stoll?
No.
Well, way too early for Jared Stoll.
Yeah. Although I don't know where he played at that time.
Drafted in 1992.
Oh, that guy. Oh, man. So he was 14 years in by
Yeah,
that time that
Jesus.
cup final for when it came around.
Did Peter Schaefer play for the Oilers, or am I totally making that up?
Don't know, but that's not the answer.
Okay.
A right-handed 14-year veteran that's a center on the 2006 Edmonton Oilers.
Was drafted 40th overall in 1992 by a different Canadian NHL team.
Okay.
And to answer your question, Schaefer did not ever play for the Oilers. He played for the Canucks and the Sens.
Stay hot, Nick.
I guess Jared Stoll. I don't even think he was in the fucking league. So
Has this player won a Stanley Cup in his career?
That's a great question. I would
can we get
guess.
multiple choice?
I would guess no. Hold on.
I'm never gonna guess this.
I could do the thing where I tell you all the different teams he's played for.
That
might help.
Do that.
All right. Let me
He's drafted in 92. Well, just because he was drafted in 92 doesn't mean he started his career then.
Right.
Correct. So he first got some NHL play, just a wee bit of it, in the 93-94 season. Then he got a little more in the 94-95 season, both of those years with the Vancouver Canucks. That's who drafted him. Then he became like a full-time NHLer from, oh my God, no, ads. Full-time NHLer from like 95 to 2000, all with the Sabres. Also rocked the C for them throughout most of that time.
Captain of the Sabres?
Oh.
2000s. Who?
No way.
Then was the captain of the Islanders for a bit.
Michael Pekka.
Yes, sir.
Oh, wow.
That name actually sounds familiar. Oh my God.
Hey, by the way, Jarrett Stoll did play on that team. I just looked it up.
Wait, what? He
He
was on
did?
he was on the Oilers in 2006?
Wait,
Yep.
this is crazy. I didn't know this. Bonus points here. Can anyone tell me who Michael Pekka ended his career with? He played 2 years with this team from 07 to 09.
What conference?
And he played almost every single game with this team for both of those years, and also wore an A.
The Thrashers.
Good guess.
No, but like equally as random.
Coyotes?
No.
I don't know. This is good.
CBJ, boys.
Wow,
Oh.
really?
Did not know that.
Damn.
You learn a little bit of everything on the Empty Betters podcast.
You
I
really
like
Michael Pekka's
I-
last 2 seasons.
Apologies for
think of-
the disorganization on that one, but
No, you're
that was
good.
fine.
I don't think of him as an Oiler at all. I think of him as a Sabre first, and then as a
I think
I
of
think
the
player that
Islander.
Islanders fans were angry at for like 10 years.
I think of the Islanders and the Oilers, but he
Yeah.
did play like a large percentage of his career with Sabres and was their captain for like a while. So I mean that makes sense.
I had no idea he was drafted by Vancouver either.
I didn't know that.
I
I,
did not
definitely
either.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we appreciate the trivia segment there. Thank you, Mac, for that. Last question, and then we're out of here. No analysis. I want a 1-word answer. Who's going to win the Stanley Cup next year? Go.
Oilers, and I hate myself for saying that.
Whoa.
You learned, Nick.
The Avs. I think they get back somehow.
Odds-on favorites. Jackson.
I'm gonna go realistically. I'm gonna say the Tampa Bay Lightning, but
Boo.
we all know it's Connor Bedard, baby. Rookie season, Stanley Cup,
Wow.
MVP, Conn Smythe. It's coming.
Unless
just-
he's like Bugs Bunny in the baseball skit where he's like playing every position. I don't think it's happening.
Hey, we got cap space. There are a lot of good free agents out there.
There you
You
go.
never know.
I'm going to go off the board. I'm going to go with the Seattle Kraken.
Whoa.
Oh,
What?
beat the Golden Knights record 1 year
What the
Yeah.
fuck?
afterwards.
All right, that'll wrap up this episode. The 5th season of Empty Betters is officially done and in the history books. We appreciate the support all season long. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you for all the interaction on social media. We really do appreciate it. We might go a little bit dark here for a couple weeks just to detox. It's been a lot lately, but we definitely appreciate all the love and support. So without further ado,
Class dismissed.